Alright, so in this video, what we're going to do is we're just going to build the detail for the center. Now, the problem is that sometimes you get like one piece and then sometimes you get, two pieces, depending on the way the pattern breaks. So what we can do is we might have to work on this through a for each. So the first thing would be, we will duplicate this. We'll do Control C, Control V, and I'll do delete non-selected or delete selected. So we have like this left, and I'm going to do a mirror, and we're going to use this to, or let's do a mirror later. We want to extract the center that will generate our jewel, and then I want to make the jewel the size of this particular shape. Okay, so we'll do a for each, and what we can do is we can just do for each by connected piece. So firstly, just do a fuse. Okay, because the problem is that if we go to a particular frame, you might actually get like they're two separate pieces. So we don't want to work with individual named pieces. We want to work with the whole chunk. So we're going to do plug that in. So we're just working with like the whole single piece. Or when it breaks up into two pieces, then we're just working with that. Okay, like if I come in here, see, so we're working with this particular piece. Okay, so this is good. So then we take a mirror, and I'm going to mirror this. The gap is not a problem. And then do an extract centroid. So keep extract centroid, and instead of run over pieces, you can say a detail. Okay, so it just completely ignores the pieces. So this is good. Okay, we have our basic thing that we want. The second thing that we want is, I want to take a sphere, and we want to copy it to this particular thing. Okay, so let's take a sphere, and let's take this mirror, and we're going to do the same thing that we've done before, which is I'm going to firstly take a transform, and we're going to move this to ground, ground level. So we'll do like minus $CEX, or minus $CEY and minus $CEZ. So this is on the ground, okay, like there. And then we'll do a match size. So this and that. Okay, except this should be polygon. And we'll do scale to fit, but uniform scale. And we can try to do like an x-axis or a y. I think y is good. Yeah, y should be good. Okay, so this is fine. And then we can take another transform, and we'll do pivot to center, or actually it is in the center, right? And just scale it down a little bit. Okay, so this is good. And then I can just take this, and we can do a copy to points. Take this guy, and if everything is right, we should get, we'll get this. And if we check it with that, so we have like two jewels in the middle, and then if it changes, so we get like, okay, that is stupidly huge. Okay, let's make this smaller. Yeah, that is fine. But yeah, there you go. So you have like, different size jewels every time it comes through. So which is nice, which is basically what we want. Okay, the second thing we want is, I want to connect points to the center of it, and also have like some kind of a pattern going on the sides. So what we're going to do is take this before before we mirror it, and then firstly I just want to take the border and connect it to points in the center. Like we can connect it to the centroid. So I'm going to take this and do a divide. Also do a fuse. Okay, or hold on, let's just do a divide here and remove shared edges. So we just get this in the middle. And then let's do a facet, or let's just do an add. We'll do an add here. I'm going to do delete geometry but keep points. And then take a delete and we'll do by expression points at p dot x less than 0.1, 0.01. This is because we're not at 0, so let's try 0. Yeah, perfect. This is good. Now we want to connect everything to the, we want to connect it to the center point. So we're going to have to do a for each inside a for each. So take another for each and we'll do for each point and just color this to something else. So let's try something that stands out inside that. So this comes in here. We're going to do a merge, merge this and that, and then just do an add. And we're going to do a delete geometry but keep points. Sorry, don't need to turn that on. Yeah, just come into by group. And so if you bring this out, you'll see like, everything connects like this. So if we merge it together, you'll see something a little more fancier like that. See, so we get this. So every time you change a frame, you'll get something a little more, interesting like that. And then along with this, I also want to do something else, which is, yeah, let's do one thing, right? Along with this, let's bring in a circle. So I'm going to take a circle. We're going to merge these together. Yeah, and just keep it to polygon, but make a group of it. Let's do one thing, right? I only want half a circle. Okay, so I'm going to take this and do 0 to 180, open arc, do a transform and rotate it this way. Yeah, this is good. And this will be a group called circle. Okay, so all of this should work. Like we should have this thing. Perfect. And then what I want to do is I want to take, all of these points that I have generated and the circle and have those connect randomly as well. Okay, using like a simple connect adjacent points. So I'm going to take a blast here. So we have this. We'll take a blast and delete circle. Okay, so this is good. We have this. Do Control C, Control V and do delete non-selected. So we have this guy. And we'll keep this to one side. We're going to merge all of these points together. Like again, here I can take an add and just get rid of, all the geometry. So we just have these points left. So this and these points, right? So we have like all of these. And I can do connect adjacent pieces, connect the points. See, so there you go. That looks fancy. And merge this in there as well. So what we should get is, we should get something that looks a little more interesting. So every time we move it around, we get this. And what we can do is, we'll have to mirror this. So we can do a mirror. Okay, like let's merge these two together. Like, this guy and this guy. And break that out and put a mirror in there. See, so that looks pretty fancy. So if we bring this out and, I can take this guy here and we can do a merge between this and that. Yeah, and there you go. See, so that looks pretty fancy. So every time you change a frame, you'll get an interesting enough result. Okay, and then I just want to, give some final design to that. So let's just do let's do a poly extrude and a little bit of subdivision, and that should be it. So firstly, you also want to fuse it because you have a lot of those chunks over there. So just fuse everything together. And then we can do a poly extrude. So do the same thing, like a little bit comes out. Yeah, and do Control C, Control V. Paste it of reference. This is negative. And then reverse it. And merge and fuse. Okay, and then do a subdivide. Yeah, so take about 2 subdivisions. That should be nice. Yeah, okay. And what we can do is we can try to, you can define how thick you want it. Okay, firstly, we'll also take both of these and give it, say, 4 subdivisions. And then we can just take this and let's say 0.07. Yeah, I think this is good. And so we can merge everything together and give it some normals. Yeah, and I want to give this a little bit of polywire. Okay, so let's take a polywire. Way too thick, so let's try 0.01. Maybe thinner still, so 0.006. And there we go. So if we merge this out and do a null and do like out helmet and object merge. Yeah, so let's just save this. So we'll do a save as and control X and control V. Yeah, give it a second to calculate, but there you go. See, so this is pretty much everything that we want. Okay, so the next chapter is the final chapter as far as the basic parametric or procedural modeling is concerned. And then I'll do the skirt. So the next chapter will do the tiers, which is very simple, nothing overly complicated. And then I'll do the skirt. And then I want to do like one final lesson, which is essentially, baking some of this down to a texture level. So what I'll do is I'm going to pick up the simplest thing possible, which is I'm going to take the arm. So we'll pick up the arm and then just bake that, bake the veins and everything onto like a texture level. So maybe if you want to sort of use it as a texture somewhere, you can sort of, do that. So we'll do that as a final chapter.